It is the 23rd of May, and May has been an insane month. We started May with, oh my gosh, Pesach's over. We're going to have this month that's going to be like streamlined with like Shavuos is a little holiday. We totally got this. And there was a war, crazy corona changes everywhere. Like the world blew up and came more back together in the span of a month, which I think is the perfect example of why non-scale victories are so freaking important. Non-scale victories are what get us through. So this month was really challenging, I think, for the entire world. Some of the people in our community who I've spoken to really had a lot of personal financial troubles this month, had children in the army that they were worried about, had anti-Semitic attacks in the States that they were worried about Israel from afar. Meron happened this month. I mean, there was a lot. And there were so many Shabbases, and there were so many changes in the family and so much tension in the homes. And I just want to take a deep breath right now, and I want to do a little exercise with you. And I want you to lift your hands above your head. Remember, it's Zoom and I can see you. Lift your hands above your head. And I want you to picture all of the tension and stress and challenges and obstacles that we faced personally, professionally, as a nation on your hands right now. And I want you to feel anything that's happening in your life, anything that's happening with your children, anything that's happening in your weight loss, in your relationship with food, in your workouts, any frustrations that you may have. And I want you to feel them. Your arms should actually be getting heavy. And on the count of 3, we're going to take a deep breath. And when we exhale, you're going to drop your hands and literally feel yourself release that old story and that old limiting belief and that old real circumstance that you went through. Deep breath in on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And let it fall. Take a deep breath in. Just feel that release up here. When we feel stressed about our life, and especially about food, you feel tension tends to be in this area and in the upper back. And whenever you're starting to feel that tension, it's a really powerful exercise to help release. I hope you guys listened to Alana's story about her weight loss that I posted in the post with the invite to today's call. It's really powerful to hear her talk about how many years you're talking about from when she was going into senior year of high school, going into high school, to being married with 2 kids. She didn't hit her lowest weight till after losing weight after her first baby. And she actually hit her real low weight that she talks about as her final weight after Julian was born, when I was already doing 2B Mindset. It's a long period of time that she condensed for us in the 2B Mindset and the 2B Mindset membership. But the only way that she got across that valley was by looking at the non-scale victories and really continuing to build her confidence. So I want to tell you guys a story first, and then we're going to go through non-scale victories, and then we're going to anchor it in at the end with an action for you guys to do. So first story is my story and the story that for a lot of you, in that when I was first starting these programs, I was disgusted with myself. I was 210 pounds. I turned on the first 21-day fix workout and literally stepped my way through it. Couldn't even use 2-pound weights. I had 2-pound weights. I had to set them down sometimes. And every time I would pass my reflection, I was unhappy. I just felt disgusting. I felt gross. And the more I felt that way, the less I even felt like I had the tools or ability, and I really did, to do anything about it. It was just, once I got through the first week of 21-day workouts, and I started week 2, I noticed that there was some improvement. I still stuck to the workouts, but I wasn't like dead at the end. I could do it. I could see that like I could do a push up on my knees and I couldn't go all the way down, but like I could do it versus feeling like I couldn't even start when I started. At the beginning, I felt like there was just no way I could eat the way she was talking about and not feel deprived. And the more that I focused on, well, you know what, like my salad actually looks really good. And like, I'm actually not hungry. Like I am full. Veggies do get me full. I don't actually need to have as many carbs as I think. And if I skip carbs, it's not working. Like I can eat dinner at a normal time. I can drink more water than I think. The more that I focused on those little non-scale victories, way before I lost all my weight, I started to feel better and I started to feel more confident. And here's the thing, has anybody ever gotten anything they want in life by half-assing it? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're like that tiny percentage that is so tremendously gifted that like you're half-assing, excuse my language, is like anybody else's 200%. And you just, it comes easy. No, I'm not saying anybody. Well, I'm certainly not like that.
Thanks.
So hold on, participants. I love you all, but we're gonna mute all here. Hold on. Mute all. Okay, that was, I'm sure whoever was talking didn't mute out. Okay, so I'm like you, and when I put only half my energy into something, I am not successful. Here's the thing, when I'm worried I'm gonna fail, it's really hard for me to put 100% in. You relate to that? If you think you're gonna fail, it's really hard to put 100% in. And so then if I don't put 100% in, I don't get good results. And then I quit because I'm not seeing results. But really it's because I don't believe it's gonna work. So I'm not giving my 100%. And this is something I have learned and over again, that the best way to get better results is to build my confidence. Because the more sure I am that something will work, the more I try. And when I really, is there even anything else in your life that you've given 100% to and been successful? Raise your hand. I'm a really good student because at some point in my life, I decided I was gonna be really good at school, and I became good at school. Okay, anybody else at your job, at your career, at stopping to yell at your kids? I mean, like then I like really like hats off to you. Doing your accounting, anything that you put all in, good. I see like learning to lift weights. I see somebody, Risa, yes, okay. So To Me Mindset and Beachbody On Demand are the same way. Once you get the confidence that they're gonna work and you go all in, you see results. And that's what happened to me with my journey with 21 Day Fix. On the fitness side, I just became a believer. I saw in 21 days that if I gave 200% to where my kids were watching my very large, very sweaty, very frustrated, very weak body, 3 months postpartum, suffer through these workouts. And at the beginning, I was suffering through them. But at the end, I would end with 2 Advil and an ice pack, okay? And they'd watch me sit down on the couch with my ice pack and drink my Advil. And like, I just kept doing it. And after my second round, so that was about 6 weeks in, I didn't need the ice pack anymore. And 12 weeks in, I did that program straight for 12 weeks, 4 rounds. I didn't need the Advil. My lower back stopped hurting. My core had gotten strong enough. I was able to do the moves more correctly. It took a long time. I have done almost every single Beachbody program in the library. Every single program that came out since 2015, I have done except for 10 rounds. I only want to end the work, which I haven't gotten to yet, and I own and I want to get to, but I haven't gotten to them yet. And every single program I did after that, I got a measurable result because I believed and I was confident. So whether it was 2 inches lost, 5 inches lost, I could measurably lift heavier than I could at the beginning of the workouts. I could measurably do this new skill, like a push-up that I couldn't do at the beginning. And all of that came from focusing on my non-scale victories. The more confident I became, the more effort I put in, and the more I saw results. The more it was exciting to start to make a bicep, the more it was exciting to press play, the more I enjoyed it, the more I then got confident that I could enjoy it. And the more I got confident to try things that were totally out of my comfort zone. I'm not a dancer. I have no flexibility. And I did 6-7 rounds of bar because I was confident that if I just kept at it, I was going to get better. And I did. And every single time I go back and I do that 21-day fix or initial workout, I feel like $1 million because I can remember what it feels like in my body to not be able to do those moves. And you can have that experience with the fitness as well. I'm going to pause here, and I'd like to hear from any of you before we talk about the nutrition side, what non-scale victories you've experienced in your life because of the workouts. Like, I remember the first time I didn't need to call my husband to bring the groceries in the house. I remember the first time that my 5-year-old, at the time, I had a new baby, and I had a 5-year-old, and I had a 6-year-old, and I had a 9-year-old. And I remember being able to carry the baby and the kid on my shoulders while one was throwing a temper tantrum. Like, powerful memories that I wouldn't have been strong enough to do without that. Anybody able to share a transformation they had? Daria, if you're able to share, I know you had that great story with the computer. Hendy, you can now jump and hold a plank for 3 minutes and lift 6-kilo weights, no problem. And when you first started, I know you couldn't jump at all without going to the bathroom, as many of us had that problem, and definitely believed you couldn't jump, definitely believed you couldn't do any of those things. So amazing. Daria, you came on. Are you able to speak for a second?
Sure. I have so many. I'm like trying to figure out which is the most the most powerful one. I mean, honestly, I think the first one that I noticed was after doing 21-day fix for as my first ever workout thing. I went to Venice Beach with my family, and I had to go to the bathroom because I was drinking lots and lots of water. And there were like these, oh, this is being recorded. Okay, whatever. There were these like disgusting public toilets, and I had to go to the bathroom. And I was able to squat so that I didn't have to touch the disgusting, filthy beach toilets. And and it was just one of those things where you're just like, oh my gosh, this is definitely not something I had set in mind as a goal, but it's awesome. And just like I that whole day, I remember like walking along the like edges of the, the walkway, the beach, thing with my kids and jumping around. And that was the first of those. And I had so many more, but it's like, I think that there are goals we set and are able to accomplish them, and it's like so gratifying. But for me, I love the ones that I don't set and that take me by surprise.
Can I just say, I'm so happy you shared that, Daria, because I remember it so vividly. Like, I remember you posting about it. And that's what I want you guys also to understand about sharing these things in the group. I mean, I only met Daria because of the group, and then you become so close and understand and celebrate people's wins, something like that. I was hoping you would say that story. I remember your next one about hiking. I remember your vacation with your husband.
Yeah.
And biking and doing all these.
Woman's life on the stairs because she fell down the stairs, and Daria was able to just lift her up. And Daria's
my neighbor
on a journey that she wants to lose more. This isn't about the weight loss; it's about the journey. Thank you. I'm gonna meet you again. I want you guys to understand. I'm talking about these programs. You get confident in them, and so you push yourself, and you see results inside the program. And then, because you're so confident, your actual thing that you deeply want, which is freedom. We all want freedom. That's what we want. We want to be free. We want to be free of this yoke, of this weight on our body that is holding us back from either being as confident in our love life, in our relationships, in our job, in our physical ability to interact with the universe. And taking charge of that is the most powerful thing. And the most memorable things, like for me, it's carrying that kid. I can still remember them screaming and knowing that I would be okay because I could carry that kid home on my shoulders while I carried the baby. And there are just so many things like that that are so empowering that you, again, those are your real non-scale victories. And if you are only focused on that this isn't going to work and you're not giving 100%, then you're always going to be focused on proving yourself right. You're going to be proving yourself why you are right. And like, it's really not going to work for you. Who else?
I want to add in, Lily, and I know this happens so often, the comparison game, whether you're looking at coaches or other people here, if you're new and you see somebody here and you may not know their backstory or where they started, maybe you didn't know that Hendy had lost a crazy amount of weight and used to not be able to jump. Maybe you look at me and I ran a half marathon and you don't know that I used to not be able to run more than 2 minutes, okay? Or you see pictures and then you say, well, my body can't do that. Our bodies couldn't do that either. It's not, you don't start with the confidence. I want you to really understand what Lily's talking about is confidence. You don't start with the confidence. You gain the confidence. And it doesn't happen overnight, but some magic does happen. And it does happen overnight, and then it accumulates, and then it grows, and then you sparkle, and then you change. And it keeps on growing in itself, and it's not a 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. It becomes annual and year after year, and you will constantly keep on seeing the change.
But I want to like just really hone in and anchor this in. If you don't have the confidence that this will work, not the confidence that you'll be able to do it and you're going to not make mistakes. No one is perfect on this journey. Okay. But you have to be confident enough to give 100%. We always talk about don't be all or nothing. Don't be all or nothing. If you don't believe that this will work, you will never give all. And all sometimes means 50% today, but it's all you have to give today. Okay. And if you don't give 100% to your belief, when 2B Mindset launched, as we transition now to non-scale victories about nutrition, people are like, I remember for 3 months doing the workout, and Alana is like giving sneaks about what's coming with 2B Mindset, sneaks. And we're like, give it to us already. Tell us what to do. Give us something. We want to lose weight. Well, yes, we're feeling fitter. We're feeling better in our body. We're feeling so empowered. We believe it's possible. Show us what to do. And she was like, no, your job for the next 2 months is to believe that you can do it. If you read her book, I can, I will, I want to, my body needs to lose this weight. YOLO. You only live once, you get one body. You have to be so full of belief that you can make it better. And that's why she always recommends that if you go back into our YouTube videos, you see these visualizations. Visualize, feel what it's going to feel like. So this is really like up here kind of level stuff. So let's bring it back down. Everybody who's on video, I'm watching you. Everybody who's not on video, I'm trusting you to do this. I want you to sit down and I want you to tell me that you're going to trust me for a minute. Are you going to trust me? Do I have your trust? Nod. Yeah. Okay. I want you to stick your finger out in front of you. Hold your hand out. Okay, and when I say turn, I want you to turn kind of as far as you can go, feels comfortable, to the left. Okay, to the left. And then come back. Okay, and we're going to do that again, just as far as feels comfortable. And to the left. Okay, and then go a little bit farther one more time. And to the left. Okay, put your hand down. Now I want you to close your eyes. And I want you, without moving your hand, to visualize raising your hand, pointing your finger. I can see you if your eyes are not closed. My eyes are open because I have done this exercise. Okay? And move your hand in your mind. Do not lift your hand. Do not lift your arm, Rena. Put it back down. With your mind, raise your arm and point your finger and move to the side. Bring it back, put it back down. In your mind, raise your arm again, bring it to the other side, and go farther. I want you to go farther than you ever have gone before. Bring it back, lower your arm. Raise your arm again in your mind. Go all the way to 180 degrees. Hold it there. It feels uncomfortable. You don't even know if you could physically do it, but you can do it in your mind. And now come back. Open your eyes. Sit forward. Make sure you have lots of space around you. If you don't, stand up. Okay? Put your hand out. And I want you to go as far as you can to the left. Come back. Put your finger down. Who went farther than they did the first time? Come on, who went farther? Anybody who did the exercise went farther, and I saw y'all who didn't, who were like thinking about other things, okay? Anybody, and you can see everyone raise their hand. That is the power of belief. That is the power of non-scale victories right there. When you focus and you practice in your head, visualizing yourself being successful, you won't actually make it to 180 degrees. You won't actually be able to turn your body around and be in 360, but you will go farther than you thought you were capable of. Non-scale nutrition victories are, oh my gosh, my Shabbos has so many more vegetables on the table. Wow, you know what? I did eat a lot of cookies, but I kept drinking water in between. It was like crazy. You know, I used to only be able to drink 1 liter, and now I can drink 4. When I eat sugar now, I actually feel ill when I eat too much. It used to be that it was just in my head that it was bad for me. I actually feel sick now when I overeat. Wow, I actually like vegetables, and I found all these amazing ways to eat them. And the most powerful ones are, I just ended Shavuot and I didn't feel gross. I went to a friend's house and I was able to focus on the conversation and feeling confident and not obsessing about what, am I going to eat the dessert? Am I not going to eat the dessert? What should I do? Oh my gosh, how am I supposed to eat? How much challah am I supposed to eat? Oh no, what is going to happen? I'd love to hear from you guys, some of your biggest nutrition non-scale victories. And I'll give you 2 just to kind of start you off. For me, the most emotional one is my relationship with Shabbos. I no longer fear Shabbos. I no longer have food anxiety around Shabbos. I either make a plan some weeks, sometimes I don't make a plan. Sometimes, some weeks, like, you know, it's a weight loss Shabbos, some weeks it isn't, but I don't fear my relationship with food on Shabbos. I know I'm going to be fine. I know some weeks will be better or worse, but I love Shabbos and I look forward to it. And I'm able to navigate any Shabbos situation with confidence and not have regrets or feel like any of the light is dimmed. And for me, that is not something that existed ever in my life before. I don't think I ever got through an entire Shabbos without having a lot of food anxiety. That's, I would say, my #1 non-scale Shabbos victory. And it started in just breakfast not being stressful, just Friday night not being stressful, just the time around candle lighting being calmer, etc. I'd love to hear from you guys. Who can volunteer a non-scale victory around their nutrition? Michal, please.
Oh, I didn't expect to go first.
I went first.
So the truth is, and Jen and I talked about this when we did the self-sabotaging thing, is that I've done everything. Been on diet since I was 10 years old. I had the stomach surgery 9 years ago, and it didn't work, partly because other stuff in my life was going on. And I am a big treat person. I love giving myself treats. I love chocolate. I love candy. If it had an S in front, sugar, that was like my go-to. And that was what I self-sabotaged all the time with. It was like, I just craved. And I also have an issue with my insulin. So even when I used to lose weight, my body would tell me, well, you don't have insulin. And I'm like, no, but I do. but then it would crave it. And so that's what I was eat. Chocolate, 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 all that stuff. And with the mindset, I can have treats. I write them down. I'm aware of it. It's not every day. Sometimes it's twice a week. Sometimes it's never. Sometimes it's my period. Sometimes it's my PMS. And it's just learning that just as long as I write them down, I'm aware of what the scale's going to look like tomorrow. And I'm not worried. If it's up, it's up. I'll deal with it the next day. If it's down, yay, it's victory. But I don't feel guilty over having the treats. I'm also very aware I'm having, I would say healthier treats, because I don't say the chocolate that iHerb is healthier. I just know what the protein and the fiber is because I got it at iHerb and it says it's on the back. And I try and get the snacks that Alana talks about on her Instagram. So I'm again aware of what I'm putting into my body. But I had cheesecake Friday night for Shavuos twice, and I had a weight loss Shavuos but I wrote it down. I was aware of it, and I knew what I was doing, and I made sure all the other stuff that I ate was good. So all that. So the treats for me has been my biggest, I think, in the 58 pounds that I've lost since Rosh Hashanah. So that in itself has been probably my biggest win, considering that's always been my reason for why nothing's ever worked.
Amazing. And you would say that every time it worked, you felt more confidence, and more confidence, then the less fear. And then the less, tell me, the more confident you are that you can have treats, does it also mean that it doesn't have to be an all or not, right? If I give you all, it never has to be all the treats or no treats.
Yeah. And also the aspect of okay, I want something sweet. Well, then I have a Shakeology for snack.
Yeah.
Right. So figuring out that those are the most, as in if I'm craving something, I don't need 2 pieces of chocolate. I'll go make myself a shake.
And that's
just learning
right there. Every time you do go to the side and you see, oh, I didn't actually have to have the thing that I used to think I had to have, you can go even farther, and you can go even farther. Rhea and I walked into Carvel without buying anything. Rhea went to America and didn't bring back a ton of American chocolate. Alana, are you able to talk? I know you have some really great nutrition, non-scale victories. Who else has one they'd like to volunteer to share in the meantime? Someone else?
I could share something.
Okay, yeah, Becky?
Oh, great. And then also Sarah raised her hand after you, so go for it.
Okay. I think a big thing for me was not having as much anxiety about being hungry. I think there was a long time when I might be nervous. Oh, did I have enough for breakfast? Am I going to be too hungry before it's lunchtime? Am I going to faint? Am I, just being so nervous and uncomfortable with the feeling of being hungry. And I think with a consistent breakfast and knowing no, I'm going to be fine for 4 hours or whatever it is, and not wondering oh, maybe I should have had more. Maybe I should have, done something else. I think that's been really helpful. And then the other thing is the idea of to give your body what it needs before you give it what you're kind of craving. And I think that there was a long time where I would have been no, I'm not in the mood for that, so I'm not going to eat that. But now I'm okay with saying no. I've told myself I'm having these vegetables for lunch, and I know that that's what's good for me. So just being okay with doing that, even if you're not always in the mood for it.
That's huge. I know a lot of people struggle with that. And Buri, if it's okay, I know that hunger and stress about hunger was a big one for you. Do you mind just sharing 1 minute, and then we'll go to Sarah?
Yeah, I was definitely a snacker with stress, both with work or whatever else. And with To Be Mindset, it is actually kind of related to what Becky said about being worried about feeling hungry also. So with To Be Mindset, I knew that I was full, I had eaten good meals. And I think on your suggestion, I would drink teas to kind of distract myself. But just understanding that that's what was happening, that I wasn't actually hungry, was huge for me. And I've completely cut out the snacking. I mean, I would do a lot of late night snacking when I was working late, and I can still stay up late and work if I need to. I'm just not snacking.
That's amazing. And I'm sure people, like I know still there are people here who work late hours who would love some more of your tips on that and how you made that mindset switch, because that was 100% confidence. Once you proved to yourself that you could totally work late without snacking, that was the finger exercise. It just became easier and easier for you to do. Sarah, we have 5 minutes left. I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so it's nothing so revolutionary, but last week after Shavuos, we'd had like a crazy week, which was part of a crazy month, which was part of a crazy year. And my husband, we were both home during the day and the kids were at school, which is also revolutionary. And he was like, oh, do you want to go and get a coffee and walk around the park or something? And I like jump at that. Like we like so much of sort of relaxing or whatever is always used to always be around food. And I was like, yes, like very excited. And then just as we were leaving to go to the coffee place, I realized that I really don't want coffee. And I was quite happy with my water, and he got whatever he got, and we went for a walk around the park. And giving up a thing of coffee isn't really so exciting, but being in tune enough to know what I did want rather than what I thought would be like a nice experience was quite exciting after.
Huge non-skill victory. And already that just, I know you sometimes get frustrated with how much weight you've lost and how fast you've lost it, but that you changed that dynamic in your marriage, that you guys, that he thought to suggest, let's go for a walk in the park, and that you were like, oh no, let's not sit in the cafe and just talk. That is a non-skill victory around food. And all of that only happens when you're building your confidence. So I want to take this into action steps. There's a lot of amazing announcements happening in Beachbody right now, and there's going to be amazing evolutions in what's available to you in BOD. There's new programs coming out. There's new tools. There's going to be live workouts with the trainers. For all of you who drink Shakeology, cookies and cream Shakeology, June is now going to be a permanent flavor. All of the recipes are going gluten-free, and they're upping the probiotics to deal with gut health. Post-corona, there's so many different germs and all these things, and they are constantly tweaking the formula to make it as perfect for this stage of life as possible. So literally they look at the environment and they tweak the formula. That's how amazing this product is. So all of these exciting new changes coming out, and new interactive cooking. We're actually going to get to cook with Alana live sometimes, which is also going to be amazing. Really amazing things coming out. And there'll also be amazing evolutions in our group as things trickle down and we change things up to compensate and to use more of the tools. But what I want you to do is I want you to think about this finger exercise. And I want you to really think about the letting down exercise that we did at the beginning. And I want you to let go of the old limiting beliefs and really focus on building your confidence. And if you don't have confidence, imagine you have confidence. Just like with that finger exercise, the more that you see yourself being more confident that these things work, the easier it will be to make that 1% shift and be more confident. So if you haven't lately gone into the Mindset membership, if you've allowed your membership to lapse, if you haven't done any workouts lately, or you've been afraid to start working out, now is the time to build the confidence. If you used to have the To Be Mindset membership and you didn't watch the videos, we've all been there, okay? I missed 3 months at one point because life was just too overwhelming. Don't make this whole story like with the finger where there's like this wall and no matter what, you just can't seem to move it and you're not sure why. Watch yourself setting a time in your schedule to watch the videos, to go back and watch the original videos. Watch yourself set a time in your calendar. What would that be like if I got up in the morning or sometime in the evening, every day I had this ritual of doing a workout? What if I visualized myself doing that over and over and over again? When I actually go to press play, it will be so much easier. Thank you so much for being on this journey with us tonight. I hope you got something out of the call. But most important is to take action. So this week, I want to see you guys blow up the feed with food pics and workout selfies and celebrate your confidence because you got it. And now it's time to have those victories.